Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for another update on Kadena. So it feels good to be back after being away for the past week or so. We have got some new developments in the KDA charts to talk about. Since our last video, we've broken down and made two new bear market lows, and also there's some new patterns and structures developing, which I do want to talk about, and of course, we'll be updating our KDA trade. So let's dive right into this. I want to fly through the macro because really nothing's changed. We're getting continuation on the macro like we've been predicting. We are still looking at these price targets in the immediate short term, ranging between 69 cent and 50 cent. This is where we've been predicting that we are going to find the next macro level of support for KDA. And between those ranges, we also do have a price target for this head and shoulders at 55 cent, which we are getting continuation down as we have been predicting. So the macro, nothing's changed. We're just getting continuation. In the lower time frames, though, there have been some new developments, specifically in the past week since I left. As you can see, Kadena broke up and topped out around about 80 cent. It made a high, broke back down, and found itself in the past 4 to 8 hours making a lower high. Now, literally in the past 8 hours, you can see the MFI has made a high and it's broken up and made a higher high. So why am I pointing this out? Well, this is a classic case of hidden bearish divergence where you have lower highs in the price structure and you have higher highs in the oscillator. So over the weekend, or at least in the next 48 hours or so, I am expecting another break back down to the downside. There are a few other reasons for this. If we do come over to our next chart on the 4-hour time frame, I do just want to quickly highlight, while we are forming this 4-hour hidden bearish divergence, we are also making a lower high right in this big area of volume right now. So if we are looking at the right side of the screen and we are looking at the VPVR, the volume profiles for the visible range, we've broken down into an area where there's not much liquidity. We bounce back up because we weren't ready to get continuation back down with the 4-hour stochastic RSI resetting, and we bounced right back up to this big cluster of trapped liquidity, rejected from the 4-hour EMA ribbons, and now the 4-hour stochastic RSI is starting to reset and it's looking like it's turning down right now. So what we've got is we've got bearish divergence forming, we've got lower highs in the price structure, we've got the oscillator overextended now, we've also got the 4-hour stochastic RSI turning down bearish, reverting into the 4-hour EMA ribbons and grabbing liquidity from these volume profiles. So, you know, all in all, at least over the weekend, I am expecting further continuation back down to the downside for Kadena. You can see, you know, when we made this low quite recently, we had a bounce. The last time we made a high on the stock, we did break down and make new bear market lows. So I'm expecting these same ebbs and flows in the stock to continue to play out. And really this divergence that's forming, this grab of liquidity, is also just providing further evidence that we should be breaking down over the weekend. Now, if I get rid of the VPVR and also the EMA ribbons, you can see if we are looking at the liquidity swings on the Lux algo on the 4-hour time frame, you know, above us, there's really not much trapped liquidity. So, you know, personally, I don't think there's much likelihood of us breaking higher to the upside. We've got, you know, really small amounts of trapped liquidity. Let's see, we grabbed this one right here. So, you know, the major one that we've got is up here at 81 cent, and this is absolutely tiny. So, you know, most of the trapped liquidity was trapped liquidity to the downside, which was recaptured during this next leg back down to the downside. So overall, for market makers, there's really no interest in pushing the price up higher at this moment in time. We've really got absolutely no trapped liquidity until much higher price targets, which seems unreasonable in my opinion. So for these reasons, on the 4-hour time frame, and really what I'm expecting over the weekend or the next 48 hours, is a further move back down to the downside. Now, let's update what's happening right now with the weekly stochastic RSI. You may remember about 2 to 3 weeks ago, we made a video called Kadena 42 Days of Pain. And since this video, we have broken down and made numerous bear market lows. What we were identifying in this video about 3 weeks ago, when the stochastic RSI was round about this, you know, 10-15 mark, is that every single time the stochastic RSI comes beneath 20, you are close to a bottom. But what happens is the stochastic RSI on Kadena tends to come down to 0 and it chops sideways and consolidates until it's ready to flip bullish. And until it flips bullish, you're not going to find that bottom in the price structure. Every single time the stock comes down to this level on the weekly time frame, we had a further 42 days worth of pain, 56 days worth of pain, 42 days worth of pain, and this is why approximately 3 weeks ago we were predicting a further 42 days worth of pain for Kadena. If we do come over to the daily time frame, you can see it has been approximately 20 days since this prediction, and it's approximately about another 22 days worth of pain which I am predicting for Kadena before we do have a bounce. Remember at the start of the video I told you I think we're going to find support for Kadena around about 69 cent down to potentially as low as 50 cent. 50 cent is not the price target I'm targeting. If you are a veteran of the channel and you are in this trade with me, you know that I'm actually going to be taking profit on my short at 69 cent because, you know, this is a really big cluster of liquidity compared to what we've been facing with in this most recent downtrend in the bear market. This is the biggest cluster of liquidity that we've come down to, so I would not be wanting to fade Kadena at 69 cent in the potential likelihood that 69 cent does flip as support. But at least, like I said, 69 cent down to around about 50 cent is what I'm targeting, and I am expecting a further 22 days worth of pain. Now, if we do over the weekend break down and hit my price target at 69 cent, then of course I'll be thinking that we'll move down to around about 55 cent, maybe as low as 50 cent before we do have that next bounce. It really just depends on how long it takes the stochastic RSI to consolidate, but yeah, making things very simple because I'm going off on a tangent, I think we break down for about another 3 weeks. Earlier on as well, we talked about how the 4-hour stock is resetting and we should be getting ready to break down to the downside. We also listed a plethora of reasons why I think the 4-hour is bearish. If we look at the daily stock as well, it looks like we want to break down for the next few days or so before we do have a bounce. So potentially over the next couple of days, we may find ourselves down at this 69 cent price target for Kadena, bouncing on the 4-hour time frame, bouncing on the daily time frame, reverting back into the mean, maybe retesting the EMA ribbons before, you know, getting further continuation down like we've been predicting. But yeah, like I said, we previously predicted 42 days worth of pain. It's been around about 20 days, so I'm expecting a further 22 days worth of continuation to the downside for Kadena. Now, you may remember quite recently we made a video, was it the last video? We talked about will Kadena bounce soon, and what we were really highlighting is, at least for the next 42 days, of course, we are expecting that further break back down to the downside, but we did identify over on the MFI that we were developing bullish regular divergence. Now, unfortunately, this has been invalidated. Now, you know, there's a couple of ways you can spin this. First of all, if you're a veteran, you know that I don't really like to use the RSI. I much prefer to use the MFI because it does everything the RSI does, but it also incorporates volume in the market. So I find it much easier to identify overextensions in the price when you are looking at the MFI as opposed to the RSI, which is why I don't really use the RSI. But I wanted to give Kadena a fair chance and pull up other oscillators and see, is this potential bullish divergence likely to play out? In my opinion, it's not, because we have broken to the downside of this MFI low, meaning that at least if you're looking at the MFI, this bullish divergence is invalidated. But if we are coming over to the RSI, you can still potentially make a case that you are having, you know, bullish divergence. Like I said, I'll let you decide this one if you want. I personally don't use the RSI. If you like using the RSI, you might still consider this as valid. Unfortunately, in my opinion, you know, the MFI is really what I use to identify divergences, and it has been invalidated, at least on my side. So does this mean that Kadena can't have a bounce and we're just doomed to, you know, drip down to zero? No, that's not what I'm predicting. I'm just letting you know that when we do have that bounce that I am predicting, like we said, in about 20 days, I think we'll be finding that next level of support and bouncing. It just means, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to have as strong of a bounce as if we had this regular bullish divergence backing us. So where could we potentially bounce? Well, you know, personally, like I said, I think we're going to find support between 69 to 50 cent before having that next bounce. Considering how we've got about another 22 days to break to the downside, in my opinion, I think it's likely we could find ourselves anywhere between, you know, 55 to 50 cent. I definitely think we're hitting 69 cent. I think it's likely we get continuation to the downside from that point. So if we do come over to the daily time frame and we are looking at the EMA ribbons, you know, it's hard to say exactly where they're going to be, but, you know, let's just say hypothetically we break down to around about 50 cent. Because we don't have this strong divergence backing us, it's probably likely that we just bounce back up to, you know, somewhere. It'd be interesting actually if we bounced back up to 69 cent, because like I said, there's a big area of liquidity at 69 cent. If we fall through it and find support at the next volume cluster at 50 cent, we could potentially break down here and bounce back up to the next volume profile above us at 69 cent before potentially coming down and making Kadena's final bear market lows. Those are my predictions. Really, in the macro, that's what I'm seeing develop. So what am I doing with my trade? Like I said, 69 cent is still the take profit on this trade, but we have started to move down dramatically. Since we entered this trade up here at $1.23 on a 5x leverage, we've broken down approximately 35%, and even after this small bounce on the daily time frame, we are down 33%. Of course, remember, we're in a short position, so currently we're sitting in approximately 166.5% profit. We've more than doubled our money at this point, and, you know, potentially if we do come down to the take profit down here at 69 cent, we could triple our profits before obviously hitting that take profit, and we'll be out of our trade at that moment in time. So this is really what I'm seeing for Kadena. We previously had our stop loss up here at 89 cent. Now I have got a new stop loss, and I have already punched this one in before I recorded the video. When I was looking at the 4-hour time frame, I noticed how there's not really a big area of liquidity right here. So potentially if we do move higher, which is not my prediction, we could absolutely rocket up to the next area of liquidity up here at 80 cent. And then of course, you know, we taper up into the next range at this point. And if we do come over to the daily time frame, you can basically see if we do get a bounce, which once again is not what I'm predicting, we do have major resistance on these volume profiles up until about 84 cent. If we break above 84 cent, we could rocket as high as 91 cent. Not my prediction, but at which point, if we do break to the upside of this little structure here, then clearly something about my analysis on the 4-hour time frame and daily time frame would have been wrong, and we are likely to get a little bit of continuation back up. So that's why I want to incorporate a stop loss right here at 85 cent. In the best case scenario, I really see Kadena punching up to around about 79 cent, finding resistance on the daily EMA ribbons, finding resistance on this volume cluster on the 4-hour time frame and the daily time frame. So really, this is why I'm incorporating my stop loss right here at 85 cent, just above the EMA ribbons, just above these lows, and also just above the big area of liquidity on the volume profiles. So what does this mean? Well, personally, I'm predicting for us to come down to 69 cent very soon, but if I'm wrong and we just start reverting back up at this point, we'll be stopped out of our trade at 85 cent. Now, what this means is obviously from our entry, this is going to be a 24.3% drop. And on a 5x leverage, that is just over 121% profit. So we're basically incorporating a stop loss. So even if the markets reverse on us at this moment in time, we've more than doubled our money. So congratulations if you are in this trade with me. If you are currently in this trade, you are making major gains with me, let me know in the comment section down below. Smash that like button. That's all I've got for you today. I am expecting for us to move down to 69 cent. At which point, when we do move down to 69 cent, I will get a new update out, because like I said, on the daily time frame, you know, if we do move down to 69 cent, and also 4-hour time frame will have probably come down and reset at that moment in time, I do think it's potentially likely we could see a small bounce from 69 cent. Really, I need to look at the oscillators on the day that we come down to 69 cent, and I'll let you know what I think about the markets at that moment in time. But like I said, this is our take profit anyway. You know, we don't really want to be shorting past 69 cent. 69 cent is a big area of support. Could we move all the way down to 50 cent? We could, but yeah, I'm not looking to get greedy on this trade. What I'd much prefer to see is Kadena come down into our take profit at 69 cent, and I would be hoping at this point for a major bounce to the upside, and at which point we could look at some scalp shorts as we do revert back to the mean. So I'm personally hoping we come down to 69 cent, reset the oscillators, have a major bounce, and at which point we'll be looking for new opportunities to trade the market. So for today, my friends, that is all I've got. Like I said, congratulations to the Cowboy family if you are in this trade. That's all I've got for you today. If you do enjoy my content, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button and become a member today. That's all I've got for you. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.